Joining me here first on Radio Row today, the Executive Director of Immigration Reform Law Institute, Dale Wilcox, joining us. Dale, welcome to the show, and thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Talk about, first, tell us about the Institute and I guess what you guys are all about.
Yeah, sure. Primarily, we're a not-for-profit law firm. So, as you can imagine, we've been very busy during the Trump years. There have been 400-plus lawsuits filed against the administration regarding the immigration issue alone. So my law firm is a lot of times, the only group that is supporting the president around the country in all these lawsuits. We're involved in the travel ban case, the asylum win about a week ago in the Supreme Court, the stay that was issued of the district court in California, and numerous cases all around the country. We were involved in the DACA case that's before the Supreme Court. So primarily, we're a not-for-profit law firm. However, we also have an investigations department, so we use the Freedom of Information Act to get documents, to keep an eye on what the government's doing. And the report that we're going to talk about today is a result of our investigations.
Yeah, and the report that I believe it was just released, last night, right?
Yes,
yesterday.
Yes.
The 10 worst sanctuary communities, sanctuary cities, sanctuary communities. Tell us a little. The number one, I don't think, is going to shock anybody, okay? Especially our listeners. It's not going to shock them at all. But go ahead and go through the list.
I'll go through the list.
You probably weren't too shocked by it.
No, absolutely not. And you know, it's somewhat difficult. The difference between number 1 and number 10 is not that much. They're all they're terrible. But we have number 1 on our list, San Francisco, California. Very famous for their sanctuary policy. Everyone's familiar with Kate Steinle, who was shot and killed by an illegal alien there who illegally possessed a gun. Although a court here recently in California overturned the guilty verdict against him because did he really possess it? He claimed that he picked up a rag, and in the rag was a gun, and he shot Steinle.
I think that's possession, right?
Yeah,
I think he had the gun.
I think technically under California law, they have some goofy technical definition where you have to know you have the gun, and anyway. So the district attorney out there hopefully will refile charges against him. It was just the jury wasn't given a proper jury instruction. So, but we all know about the Kate Steinle case. There was Drew Rosenberg, who people might not know about. He was driving his motorcycle, hit by an illegal alien, and sadly he wasn't killed on impact. He was killed when the illegal alien backed over him several times trying to flee the scene. So many stories like that. I have examples in this report people can see on our website. There have been illegal aliens arrested 10 times, and San Francisco refuses to contact ICE. And what happens usually is when someone is booked, they're fingerprinted. For everyone, even citizens. Fingerprints are sent to the FBI, but when it's an alien, FBI sends it over to DHS, Department of Homeland Security. And Homeland Security will send what's called a detainer request to the local jurisdiction. Hey, hold on to this person for 48 hours. We're coming to get them to start deportation proceedings. Well, these sanctuary cities refuse to comply with that request. They refuse to notify ICE when they're going to release someone. And we've seen this again and again. They've released people back into the community to only go and commit further crimes.
Yeah.
It makes no sense whatsoever. So San Francisco was top on our list. They have ignored an inordinate amount of detainer requests. New York City, New York, number 2 on our list. And New York is thumbing its nose at the federal government. We're not going to cooperate in any way. They have denied thousands of detainer requests from ICE over the years, and many examples there of individuals who have been released and gone back out and committed horrendous crimes.
It just, I think for the average person out there, it makes no sense. It makes no sense why you would not comply with the law. I mean, that's what it is. At the end of the day, it is just complying with the law.
Right. And the anti-borders crowd, their talking point on this is, well, it makes communities safer if we don't cooperate with immigration authorities because witnesses to crimes and victims of crimes will not report crimes if they think they can get caught up in a deportation dragnet. Well, guess what? Police do not refer victims or witnesses of crime for deportation. And in fact, the feds will not deport you. We have special visas that are designed to protect and in fact put them on a path to a green card if you're a witness to a crime or a victim of a crime. So that's bogus. What this is about, the bottom line here is it's about power. It's about control. The leftists, no one will listen to their foolish arguments. They can't get Americans to vote for them. So what they're doing is they're trolling for potential future voters. And it's the same thing you see when they want felons to vote. They want to lower the voting age. We see communities allowing illegal aliens to vote now, and they want to keep these criminals because one day they're going to vote for their party, their views. So it's a shame, political stunt. It's a long game, but this is the game they've chosen. And but people are being harmed. I mean, people are being killed. We know that Americans are dying. It's factual. So on our list, we have number 3, Minneapolis, Minnesota, which is a terrorist hotbed. We've had more than 45 individuals from this area leave to go fight for ISIS, and more than any other area in the country.
Right.
And you'll note these top 3 are the home jurisdictions to Representative Pelosi, AOC, and Omar.
Yeah. Can you hang around for one more segment? We got to get one more break in.
Absolutely.
When we come back, we're going to continue our discussion with Dale Wilcox here on the Chad HD Show, live from Washington, D.C. on KFYO. Chad HD Show, live from Washington, D.C. at the Hold Their Feet to the Fire Immigration Radio Row. And we've got Dale Wilcox, the Executive Director and General Counsel of Immigration Reform Law Institute. Dale, we were talking about the top 10, or I guess I hate to say top 10 because it's not really top. There's nothing good here.
Bottom 10.
The bottom 10, but the worst sanctuary communities. But I want to jump to one, or I guess a couple that may surprise some folks because, San Francisco, that's not going to shock anybody out there. New York City, that's probably not going to shock anyone. Let's talk about number 7 and 8 on your list and why those made the top 10.
Sure. Number 7 was actually a tie, Montgomery County, Maryland, and Fairfax County, Virginia. And number 8 is Prince George's County, Maryland. And all 3 of those are D.C. suburbs. We included them on the list. As I mentioned, we included in our consideration of who's the worst here, how many detainer requests were ignored. But also we looked at the occurrence of egregious crimes in the community and then those politicians doubling down on their sanctuary policy in the face of crimes. And Montgomery County is a perfect example of that. They instituted a sanctuary policy July 25th of this year. And since that policy has gone into effect, there have been 10 alleged sexual assaults, rapes, including of children. Some as young as 6 years old, 6, 11, 12, 16 years old.
Wow.
It's disgusting. There was actually a protest here or a rally last week in Montgomery County in opposition to the sanctuary law, but yet the county executives there continue to push forward with it, and we're not going to change. Fairfax County, somewhat the same thing. They also will ignore detainer requests, and we've had some particularly egregious murders occur in this area. MS-13 is entrenched in this area, sadly.
Yeah.
And a lot of the junior highs and high schools are battling with that.
Yeah, it's terrible. And this is going on across the country, and you are doing great work trying to defend what the administration is trying to do by cracking down and really trying just to enforce the law. How can people find out more information, see this top 10, bottom 10, whatever, the list of shame, if you will, and find out more about what you guys are doing?
Absolutely. Sure. They can go to our website to see the list. It is irli.org, irli.org, and we're on Twitter, IRLI Law.
All right, Dale Wilcox, appreciate your time today. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for
and we'll be in contact later on.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Chad Hasty Show live from Washington, D.C.